Welcome into episode 54 of Ramie and Drew. I am Ramie Mackloff. That is Drew Flaggy, or the bad guy from Karate Kid. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is. We're a couple of Milwaukee comedians. We talk about sports, whatever else might come to mind. Uh, you look like, what's his name? What's his name? He's Johnny. Is it Johnny from the Karate Kid? He's
No, Johnny's a good one.
Which
It's
one?
not
What's his name?
the other one. I don't
No,
remember.
the blonde douchey dude. Um, yeah, it's
Wow.
Johnny, isn't it?
No, because
Have you been
Sweeping the
watching the
Leg,
Netflix spin-off series?
Cobra Kai. No, I actually haven't watched it.
Yeah,
Everyone says it's great, and I
I
haven't
have.
watched. I told my
I've
girlfriend I would
watched
watch
all of
Black.
it.
I told her I would watch Black Sails, so that's next on my watch list because she really
What is
liked that.
Black Sails?
It's a pirate show, I guess.
A pirate show?
Yeah. I originally thought it was Our Flag Means Death, which like Taika Waititi is like a part of, and I'm like, well, that sounds terrible. But then it turns out Black Sails is actually like a drama and like a show.
Oh, it's a drama?
Yeah,
It's a dramatic pirate show, is what you're telling me.
dude, pirates were dramatic. They weren't like a joke like Jack Sparrow or the Pittsburgh ones. They were I don't know. Maybe Paul Skeens makes an appearance or something, and that's awesome. I don't know.
That could be. I wasn't saying that pirates were a joke. Yeah, it was Johnny. You're John. You look like Johnny Lawrence. For anybody who
Oh yeah,
isn't
okay.
familiar with the Karate Kid canon, yeah, you look like Johnny Lawrence. I wasn't saying like I forgot what we were just talking about.
Pirates.
Pirates. I wasn't saying that they weren't dramatic or weren't funny. I was saying I really have no interest in dramatic pirates. The pirates I've seen have always been, kind of funny and ridiculous. I don't know how this show got off to a start talking about pirates.
I'll watch anything because, well, I don't know. Oh, because of watching. Because I didn't watch. Because I didn't watch Cobra Kai.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, it
did
was Johnny
bring.
Lawrence.
I did bring great dishonor to the podcast today. I lost about 3 games of one-on-one at the gym. I brought shame to the podcast.
Who did you lose to? You lost 3 games of one-on-one? Who did you lose
No,
to?
I lost 2 out of 3.
Oh, 2 out of 3. To whom?
There's a guy at the gym that I play with once in a while. We were
Okay.
there, and we were playing to 15. I won the first game 15-10, and then he beat me 15-13, and then 15-11. So these weren't like, it wasn't like a blowout, but it was very dishonorable.
You weren't getting your ass kicked.
No,
How's
it was dishonorable.
How's the Achilles feeling? Was it the Achilles?
Ankle. It's probably all the parts, honestly. It's good. I was playing with help today.
There you go.
So,
good.
It's not puffy anymore, so that's good.
He's out of the brace. In case anybody was getting on, the DraftKings or anything else, and wanted to know how Drew was doing, if they should take the unders, the overs. He's out of the ankle brace. He's playing full contact one-on-one.
Well, dude, dude figured out that if I just chase him off the perimeter and then recover and take away the paint, he's got to settle for mid-range jumpers, and it's not really a part of my game. I'm not Chris Middleton.
By the way, in addition to the Johnny Lawrence look, you also, I don't know what's going on your TV. I'm assuming it's your TV in front of you. It's flashing different colors, constantly, like blue and then red and then yellow. And it's only on one side of your face. And we got serial killer montage vibes going on here right now.
Yeah. It was the Wisconsin lottery commercial on Bally Sports Wisconsin. So if my numbers don't hit, watch out.
You know that part in every serial killer movie, like the montage scene where he's like sinking into madness, and he's just staring into the camera, and there are different colored lights flashing. That's exactly what you look like right now.
Your friend Nick Cattles also said that because I had the TV on the one time when he.
Oh man.
I'm just trying to see if my Gatorade changes
Are
colors.
you that distraught by the Brewers loss tonight?
No, actually, because this was another
like
exciting game. The Brewers yesterday, actually, the one where they got just kind of blown out, that was like the first game all year that just wasn't like interesting. You're like, oh, okay, we just lost that one. Like that was like we made it damn near 40 games into the season before I kind of tuned out of a game, and I was like, all right. And that was after the Astros hit the second 3-run homer of the day, and I was like, oh, okay. Because we brought it within.
I said that when I was filling in for Sparky last week on 1250 on his afternoon show, that whether sometimes for the worst, but usually for the better, they always seem to find a way to make every game interesting. Like every game you have to tune into. And the game I was hosting the day after they came back from being down 5-0 and then being down 7-2 and tied it up and then eventually lost the game. And we talked about that game too with the bad strike zone in the ninth inning, et cetera, et cetera. But they find a way to make every single game close and interesting, including tonight.
I thought interesting thing was a glove first shortstop Joey Ortiz was batting third. That was crazy. I didn't expect that to happen this year at all. Oh, and then of course Joe Ross got hurt, so that sucks.
I was going to get to that, but as far as the batting order goes, and Ortiz batting third, that goes along with the Joe Ross injury and the topic I want to talk about, which is that, man, and you saw it tonight with how they lost the game. Like, admirable performance by the bullpen as a whole to come in the second inning and go seven plus scoreless innings, but at the end of the day, it did catch up to them. And big picture, like, these injuries will catch up to them, and you'll have tough losses like you had tonight. You'll have lineups where you'll have guys like Ortiz batting. Well, he was batting fourth. Did you say third? He was batting fourth according to the box score.
No,
I'm looking at like
third because Willie Adames. It was Contreras, Yelich, Ortiz, Adames. Willie Adames was batting clean.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at they put the pinch hitter below Contreras. So I'm sorry. You're right. I was looking at it wrong. No, you're right. He was batting third. But man, that's going to happen when you have injuries. How many guys they have no Garrett Mitchell, no Rhys Hoskins. Who else? They didn't have they gave Contreras the night off. So guys like Ortiz are going to Contreras let off. I'm sorry. He was DHing. But yeah, man, the injuries are going to catch up to him, and the batting order is going to look wonky some nights. I would have had Adames before him, but we talked about batting orders. I don't really care so much about batting orders.
The batting order and like the offense isn't what concerns me. It's the pitching injuries, because that's way too premium to have this many injuries constantly just popping up. And you lost Wade Miley for the entire season. You're probably not going to have Woodruff for the entire season. Devin Williams is out. It's like, the bullpen's getting leveraged pretty hard right now. And now it's like tomorrow, they got Robert Gasser's pitching tomorrow. It's his third major league start. He's pitched great so far, but it's like, but now you need to have a pretty deep start out of him, you'd think. And then the other thing too is, he might just have to wear it tomorrow if things don't go well. But luckily, you are going against the Marlins, and they're pretty bad. So, I think before the game, I think it said that they were like minus 82 in like run differential. It's like, holy shit, that's pretty bad.
They've been one of the worst teams, and specifically one of the worst offenses in baseball so far this year. So yeah, you're catching them at a good time for a team that's as banged up as the Brewers. And I said this on the show, the Brewers are kind of built for this, even though they're not, the big market team that has, the $1 trillion roster. They are kind of built for this when you look at sort of the versatility and the depth of the roster and how they've dipped down into the minor leagues as much as they have, but also being in the division that they're in. I think that gives them a little bit better chance to withstand these injury problems that they're going through right now. The only other team I think that they're going to be battling with for the division is the Cubs, and they have their own injuries just as bad as the Brewers, if not worse.
The only pushback that I have about the division thing now is that you play everybody. So it's not like we can just go kick the shit out of the Pirates for 17 games a season and kind of pad out your wins there.
Sure.
And so you don't get as many scheduled wins against the bottom feeders in your division, but that kind of goes for everybody. And then it's like the AL East is pretty good. Like, the outside of the Marlins, like you still got the Braves and the Phillies and stuff that you got to deal with. Like every division's got 2 or 3 teams that are like really good. And then there's our division where it's just the Cubs and Brewers are like 85 wins might win the division. I mean, the Brewers, what they got?
And that's what I mean.
The Brewers got up to 87 wins. What it was?
Last year? I think they won 87. But that's what I mean when I say that.
Jump up? Didn't they jump up Las Vegas odds to like 87?
Oh. No, they went up from 77.5 to 84.5.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Where I was like, I could see us winning 87 to 90 games because also to go back on what I just said, you do play your own division and you could really beat the shit out of some bottom feeders.
Yeah, when I was saying that the division gives them a better chance to withstand the injuries, I didn't mean necessarily because of how many times you'll play your division opponents. You do play more than the rest of the league. I just meant nobody. I don't see anybody, going on a tear and running away with this division in the NL Central. That's what I mean. I don't expect anybody. If the Brewers do lose a few games like they did tonight because injuries and the law of averages catches up to them when you have as many injuries as they do, I even if they have like a 500 stretch or like a 3-7 stretch or a 4-8 stretch, something like that, I don't think they'll fall that far back in the division where it's going to be like, oh man, that stretch of the season really killed you.
No, they would really need to like lose like 14 in a row or something like that. Like you'd really have to go on a pretty miserable stretch of games to really fall out of contention. But you could get swept here and there and it's not going to be that big of a deal because I mean, the Brewers have only lost 3 series this entire year and one of them was to the Astros. Like that's not bad. The Astros are but everyone still hates them for cheating, which is funny.
I still hate them for cheating. I don't like them at all.
Everyone hates them for cheating. Like they're the team that just everyone's gonna hate so much in baseball because it's like you'll never get over it.
Isn't it fun though? Isn't it fun? Like the trash can jokes are still good, but even just bigger picture, having like a villain, having somebody who we all hate and can make fun of and feel good about when they lose. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you already know that I'm ready to start making fun of some people for losing, and I'm gonna say I'll be charitable and say in 5 games. But
well, we can move right into that if you want, because I did want to get into the NBA playoffs with you. The team and
we had a lot happen over the weekend that we didn't talk.
We did.
Talked in a while.
Yeah, we did.
We had Scottie Scheffler getting arrested. That was awesome, and then coming back to 66. That was cool. I don't even like golf. I just like chaos.
Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck was? And you know what I enjoyed more than anything?
I asked Ben. I don't even know what the fuck is happening. And Ben just texted me back and goes, "He's a dog." That's what it's like. I'm all about it. I should have put money down. Everyone makes money off of him, except for like the Louisville PD. Like they're the only ones who didn't make money.
No, they didn't find it funny at all. My favorite thing about it was white golf fans on Twitter finding out about cops using excessive force and abusing their power. Like, oh my God, what? How did this happen? How did nobody stop this? How did I literally saw somebody tweet? I can't believe they arrested him, put him in handcuffs, put him in a jumpsuit, and took pictures. How did nobody step in anywhere along the way? And it was like, this happens every day to people who that shouldn't be happening to, man. Like, what do you mean? How did nobody step in? How do you not believe that this happened?
It's not like he's the first guy to get arrested on a golf course. Just usually everybody else, like the FBI comes out of the bushes and stuff, and like they got like overhead. Like this was a traffic stop, but like that was pretty funny.
That's amazing.
We had Caitlin Clark made her home debut. That was underwhelming to watch. Really,
she's struggling. I don't care about the WNBA, and no, it's not because I don't like women. My sports spectrum is very limited. My sports spectrum is very limited. It's Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL. But I hear buzz, just watching sports. Is she struggling to start her career?
No, it's just that the WNBA is the dumbest fucking league in sports, and their coach just like they ran 7 straight plays with Caitlin Clark on the floor. She never touched the ball. It's like it's not like
that can't happen.
Corner or something like that. She was active and moving, and those big bitches just didn't want to give her the ball. It's like this, like between Angel Reese and fucking Caitlin Clark.
You can't say that. You're not allowed to say that.
Is anybody offended? Do we have women that watch this show that are like,
oh, I hope so. I don't want to limit the audience.
The goddamn game. I watched the
That doesn't give you license.
What the fuck did you do?
That doesn't give you the license. I wasn't like I don't watch those bitches. I was just like, I don't know, it's not my thing.
I said big bitch. I said I qualified. I said big. I talked about the WNBA the way he talks about.
Who are you, Don Imus?
Or Charles Barkley, sorry. Charles Barkley talks about the women in San Antonio. They're wolfing down churros.
I'm sorry. But go ahead. 7 plays where they didn't give her the ball.
They didn't even have her involved in the offense. Like I texted you this specifically where I said this is like watching the WNBA is like, okay, like we're gonna market Caitlin Clark and they're gonna put her face on goddamn everything. And then it was like I had to watch a bunch of underhanded layups get bricked by the rim blocked them from making layups. And it was like I wanted to watch Caitlin Clark bomb 3-pointers like she's goddamn Dame Lillard and fucking Steph Curry. No, like they're like, no, we're just not gonna get her involved. And I said, this is like a comedy show where it's like you get somebody who just sucks at comedy. They're like a year or 2 into comedy and they're like, I'm going to book my own show and show everybody what's what. And then you're like, okay, but I have to get a headliner. So they're like, they book somebody who's actually good at comedy, but then they fill the lineup with a bunch of their edgelord friends. And they're like, you have like an hour and a half of people doing saying grape and stuff like that. If you know what I'm saying, it's all grape jokes and it's all SA jokes and molestation stuff, and people sit there and they're like, what the fuck am I watching? And then the good you're like, oh, this is actually entertaining now that somebody good is out there. And then by that time you're like, I've already wasted a fucking 2-hour block of my day because I wanted to watch Caitlin Clark shoot a 3. Yeah. Nice closer. The Indiana Fever are 0-4. They lost, I think, today.
I don't watch the WNBA, so this is my totally what?
Caitlin Clark, she hurt her ankle. Like she pulled a Drew Flaggy. Like prayers up to her.
That's too bad. But my totally uninformed, uneducated opinion or theory or hypothesis on what's going on here is there was a lot of hype around her, and the truth is there are a lot of girls in the WNBA. Even though I don't watch it, I know there are a lot of girls, WNBA women who are very good basketball players who have a lot more physical tools than Caitlin Clark has, and she has a target on her back, man. And people are like, oh, they think she's going to come in here and change the game or change this league. And everybody wants to give her that welcome to the league rookie type of moment. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be hard for her to carry this weight. And I don't watch the WNBA. I just know how much hype there is around her. And I think this is something that would transcend any sport. It's going to take a lot for her to carry that weight. And I think there's going to be a lot of adjustment period for her to carry that weight. And for some of that shine to wear off and for that target to kind of wear off, that's on her back right now.
Well, the welcome to the league thing is, I think, fine in a lot of like men's sports where they're profitable. The WNBA's never turned a profit. So at this point, you need to, if all these women want to make more money, they need to embrace this moment, whether you like Caitlin Clark or not.
But they're competitors. Like that's not that's not going to enter their thought process when they're out there on the court and Caitlin Clark's in front of them. They're not going to go, we better be nice to her and let her make shots.
I'm not saying
the league is going to make a lot more money if she does.
I'm not saying the competitors need to be nice to her. Her fucking team needs to embrace that she is a part of that team. As the number one overall pick.
Yeah, again.
Well, okay. What if Popovich was like, all right, well, Wemby, sorry, you're not touching the ball.
No. I'm saying you might be right about that. I don't watch the games to know whether you're right or wrong about that. And that might be part of it. But I also think that the pressure and the competition, and again, the target that's on her back, I think is also contributing to any struggles she might have to start her career.
Well, she hasn't necessarily struggled. It's just the fact that the offense, like the coaching and stuff, and the players on the team, the veterans on her team, don't want to get her involved. The Fever were the worst fucking team in the league last year anyways. That's why they got the number one overall pick. So, like, let's not sit here and act like there's any skin off any of their asses by passing to her. And It's fine. Like, it's like, okay, don't let the rookie get too big in her shoes or whatever. Who cares? Like, it's just I'm watching out of morbid curiosity to see how they act because of how a lot of the WNBA analysts have talked about Caitlin Clark coming into the league. Like, I'm kind of on her side out of being a contrarian because all of them were like, she's not going to translate. This ain't going to translate. There were like Cheryl Swoops lying about her record, about how it's like she got 5 years to break that Pete Maravich record or whatever. Like, and it's like that wasn't true. Like nothing they said about her's venture is there's a legit hatred for her. So I'm kind of like on the side of like I like her, but then she also was at that fucking Pacers game, and I don't like that either. So we can get into the Indiana Papers.
That veers us back into we dipped our toe in the NBA playoffs, then went to Scottie Scheffler, Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Let's now go into the NBA playoffs, and unfortunately, the Indiana Pacers will be moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, a fractured hand defeated Jalen Brunson. That was sad. The level of luck that fucking team has just had is absurd.
I think there's a high-speed chase going through my neighborhood right now. I think the Kia boys.
Do you think your car's involved?
It could be. It might be my car. Wow, they just made a U-turn. They're coming back down the other way. What's that?
Your street's make a U-turn on.
Huh?
Your street's not even easy to make a U-turn on.
Yeah, I know. The cops just did it very fast, very fast. Because they're chasing somebody out there.
Sick. I mean, the good thing those roads are nice and slick after all the rain today. Yeah, the Pacers. I say the Celtics are gonna fucking sweep them, but I'm being nice and I'll give them they'll win a game.
Gentleman's sweep, 5-game gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be just a massacre for the Celtics. I think they're gonna. But then again, I was like, hey, the Knicks are one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league. There's no way this shit happens. And I was wrong. And he had to watch.
Well, they were losing guys one by one. They lost Anunoby and then Hart and then, like you said, Brunson at the end. Like that, dude. And I shared the clip with you of comedian Sam Morril, who's the Dan Le Batard's show, New York Knicks correspondent now. And he was, because I guess Le Batard has a Pacers fan on his staff, and he was like, he said on the Le Batard show, he was like, there's no way they beat us if we're healthy. And the guy started shaking his head, and Sam Morril goes, the fuck are you shaking your head for? Yeah. And then he apologized afterwards. He was like, I lost my temper there a little bit. But he's right at the end of the day. Like, dude, it's like the Pacers are very, very lucky and fortunate to be where they are, considering the two teams that they just faced.
The big thing, too, for Pacers fans, not to piss on their parade all that much, and this isn't going to be like sour grapes or anything like that.
No, piss on it.
But here's what I'm going to say. The Sacramento Kings last year had a historic offense, and you were the top-rated offense this year. That shit can come right back down to earth. That it really can. You can have.
Yeah, but who knows what kind of monkey paw that they have? For all we know, Tatum and Brown are going to be hurt by Game 3 of this series.
Oh, you fucking know that Jason Tatum's going to roll an ankle Game 2 and something dumb's fucking happen. Porzingis ain't going to be back because he's got the same Giannis injury. Dude, if these I am mortified of the prospect of the Pacers going to the NBA Finals and Anthony Edwards getting fucking hurt. I am mortified of this happening. He's had injury problems towards the end of the season and stuff. Thank God he's been back. But holy shit, it's Luka Doncic is gonna go out there and his leg's gonna fucking fall off, and Kyrie's gonna, I don't know, he's gonna break his ankle or something too. It's something dumb's gonna happen in the NBA Finals, and the Pacers are gonna be like, "Oh, we're winning." It's you're dude. And okay,
I can't see the Pacers getting to the finals, but the one I've told people,
them getting to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I know. But the one silver lining in all of this is that because we don't want to see good things for the Celtics either. Let's be real. We don't want to see good things for the Knicks either. If we're being real, the good news is we're gonna probably get to watch all these fan bases suffer the agony of defeat. You know what I mean? The Knicks are so fun to watch lose. I forget who it was. I saw somebody tweet today that Knicks fans are just Cowboy fans in Timberlands, which is so true. It's so fucking true. And they're so fun to watch lose and suffer disappointment. You know what I mean? Even the ones that I like. Now we're going to get to watch either the Celtics or the Pacers lose in the conference finals. And then we're going to get to watch the winner of that probably lose in the NBA finals. We're going to get a smorgasbord of Schadenfreude. Hey, like that. That was two German words back to back. We're gonna get a lot of the tears of our enemies here at the way that these NBA playoffs play out. That's the way I choose to look at the positive side and say we're gonna get to watch everybody who we hate lose series, and it's gonna be glorious.
Yeah, it's a real Schindler's List of pain.
Jesus, man.
It's a movie. It won Oscars. It won 7 Oscars. Shut up. It's not like a bad thing to say. Yeah, you're saying German words. It was like the fall of Doodle Strudel. Just the saddest times in history.
I said a smorgasbord of Schadenfreude. I didn't say anything.
I said a Schindler's List of strudels. So I'm out of default. I'm you know what? Jason Tatum, just go win your fucking ring. Because I don't want Tyrese Halliburton. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton's made it further in the playoffs than Joel Embiid, and I never thought I'd be sad to say that. Mother.
That is true.
Those are things where I'm how is Joel Embiid not? And it's well, he gets hurt too. But it's you look at the playoffs, you're no Giannis, no Embiid, or Embiid was hurt, and then fucking Brunson gets hurt. It's how does this happen for the Pacers? This is.
I'm telling you, they have some kind of magical monkey paw that they are using to put curses on the teams that they face in the playoffs.
They sawed a goat's head off, and there's a pentagram in their locker room or something like that. They've summoned all the demons from hell to make this happen. It blows my fucking mind. And what's even worse is Tyrese Halliburton's dumb sweatshirt that he wore, the Reggie Miller choke thing.
You know what? No, go ahead. I'm just gonna tie up my hair. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's you didn't. You should have put a thing on before, dude. No, Halliburton, he didn't wear that to the goddamn stadium. He brought that in case they won to talk shit.
He said he's had it for 2 games.
That's why people. It's they're I see Pacers Twitter and stuff. This is why people fucking hate your team, because Anthony Edwards goes out there and talks shit all game long, winning, losing.
I didn't really. Dude, again,
he said he locked up Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray had 35 points last night, and he's I locked him up. No, you didn't. But also, I like the confidence that it's winning or losing. Ant is the same guy. And that's why people like him. It's genuine. Tyrese Halliburton is a fucking pussy, dude. He says nothing the entire game and like, I don't even like using the term front runner because that's not what that word meant. Like, I'm sorry, Bobby Portis. That's not what front runner meant. I don't care.
I've heard it used like that before.
This is the worst
commercial. I've heard it used in that way before.
I've never heard it used in that way before. And I guess, like, I'll take your word for it, Bobby Portis's word for it. Like, fine. But, like, dude, I've never used that term that way. Like, bandwagon, I guess. Like, yeah, that's kind of the closest thing that I would call it. But that's for the fans. That's not necessarily for the players. But, like, dude, that guy, like, he is radio fucking silent when they're losing. And he sits there and pouts. And then there's the fake tough guy shit that he pulled. Like, again, he did that with the Bucks, where it's like he's walking away. He does the Jimmy Butler, where he's walking away and all of his friends are getting in the middle of him and separating him with more and more bodies from the guy he's yapping at. And he said, there's like, you ain't that guy. You ain't that guy. And it's like, you put an entire staff and police force in between and the goddamn ninth guy off of whatever the fuck team's bench.
I'm not going to say he's not annoying. He's annoying. I'm not going, and he has a very punchable face.
And he travels like James Harden every time.
Yeah, he does do that, but that's a lot of the league. And James Harden and Russell Westbrook kind of brought it into the league, and a lot of guys have copycatted it since. As far as the sweatshirt goes, I don't have a huge problem with it, dude. To me, it would have been a much more baller move. It would have been much more. What's the word that I'm looking for? It would have had a lot more gusto, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
Big move to walk into the stadium wearing it.
Big dick move. That's a great term. If he would have walked into the stadium wearing it, yes. But I don't have a problem with him putting it on afterwards. You know what I mean?
I don't even have the problem with the trolling. I'm just like, it's so fucking fake. Like, it's more the fact, like, there are guys that it's like talk your shit guys and everything like that. Like, I'm all about those dudes. Like, go talk your shit. This dude, it's like he won't. He will say nothing until he knows it's a lock.
No, you're right about that.
And I'm like, that is St. Louis Cardinals fan level dipshittery. Like, that is a level of irritating.
You're not gonna get me to hate. You're not gonna get me to hate anything as much as I hate Cardinals fans. So can't quite go that far with you.
Pretty close on all of those clowns, like Nemhart. Like, I'm pretty close on everybody on that team. And like, the fact that I just want the big boy Celtics to just smack the shit out of them. Like,
either way, yeah, I do want the Celtics to win because enough with the Pacers already, I guess. But either way, one of them is going to lose. And quite frankly, one of
holiday.
That's fair. The Western Conference is sort of the opposite of the Eastern Conference, where I kind of like everybody over there as far as like the superstars are concerned. And so, like I said, I'm going to see one of these teams that I hate lose to a player that I kind of love, whether it's Anthony Edwards or Luka. Kyrie has kind of won me back a little bit, just a little bit. He's not as annoying as he was. I love that Western Conference matchup, and I'm rooting for the Wolves. I am. And by the way, tomorrow we're going to be talking with Phil Mackey of Score North, 5:30 live right here on the Ramie and Drew Show, 5:30 p.m. That is Central Standard Time. But I'm rooting for the Wolves. But even if it is the Mavs, I like Luka, man. And like I said, Kyrie has kind of won me back. I was a big Kyrie guy earlier in his career. He's won me back a little bit, and maybe could a little bit more. I'm going to be rooting for whoever comes out of the West. Right now, I'm rooting for the Wolves, and I'm leaning heavy Wolves, but I'm going to be rooting for whoever comes out of the West.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for the Wolves too. I mean, yeah, I'll root for Luka. Like, I like Luka. It would be tragic if the Dallas Mavericks lose and then Luka requests a trade, because I heard teams are going to be closely monitoring the Luka Doncic situation.
I heard teams are already closely monitoring Jokic in Denver. Three MVPs and one title. What is this? He's got to ask to get out of there. Jokic has to demand to get traded out of Denver right now.
I heard it's either Jokic or Jamal Murray. They can't keep them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really sad when one of them has to move and play there. Yeah. Or Golden State. Golden State's probably going to get both of them, honestly. They're gonna have to.
That's what I've heard. That's what my sources have told me, Drew.
My sources have been telling me that too. That we're closely monitoring all the situations. Jalen Brunson, I think he candidly did request a trade in the doctor's office when they were X-raying his hand.
I mean, the guy gives you a season like that and you don't win a title, he should ask to get out of there. He should demand to get out of there right now.
Yeah, he should be pretty upset. He should want to go to Miami. I think that's where I would want to go. Because there's nothing to do in New York.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Your third best player is a white guy. I don't want to be there. I'm sorry. Dante.
Dude, that Nuggets Wolves game 7 though, man, that was a great game. We were going to podcast last night, and I was like, you know what? I just want to watch this basketball game because I had a feeling it was going to be a pretty good one. A 30-point swing in that one. They were down 20. They come back and win by 10. And man, Anthony Edwards is just a joy to watch. He really is. He's just, if you like basketball, that dude is just a joy to watch.
The one thing I'm gonna ask Phil Mackey tomorrow, honestly, is when can the Wolves get better jerseys so I can buy an Ant jersey? Because I as much as Wolves, I hate their fucking jerseys. They're terrible. Like they're so boring. Like I just don't like them.
I don't know what their city editions look like, but maybe a throwback. Can you get a throwback with Ant's name on the back?
Their city editions.
Throwbacks are nice, like the KG days.
Yeah. Those are great. There's a lot. Like, dude, like I wish the Grizzlies would use like the teal, like the old Grizzly one, like when it was Vancouver. The pattern that was on like the piping and stuff. Those were great. Like I love those. I even like some like the throwback Raptor purple ones with the cartoon Raptor. I like those. Like those are fun.
Those are nice.
I do think
I like those too.
You could almost do like a ranking of NBA logos and stuff or jerseys. I don't know.
Put it in your pocket for a future episode.
I didn't like the Bucks City jerseys until they were 50% off on 414 day. So
I'm not a fan of the blue. Those don't feel like Bucks jerseys to me.
You know the thing is when it's 50% off and you're like, do I need that? And then you go, yeah. It's pretty sick.
Fair enough. You got money like that, huh?
No, but it was 50% off. I wouldn't have bought it full price. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on the green Damian. I have money put away for when they put the authentic Milwaukee green jerseys on sale. Because like you can't customize them, and I want an authentic Dame one to go with my authentic white Giannis one.
They haven't put those out yet. Why haven't they put those out yet?
They still had the 2022 75th anniversary diamond edition ones. Like they still had those like in like the Bucks store and everything. But like I don't know what it is with like the NBA, but like they don't make like authentics like half the time anymore. Like you can get the Mitchell and Ness ones, like the old throwback ones and stuff, which are actually pretty neat too. I've considered almost going back and getting like like a Mitchell and Ness Kareem jersey with the Lakers. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
You know, like just to have like some of those because I like jerseys, but they're also expensive as hell.
Yeah, obviously. But you have a lot of them. Headbands too. Lots of headbands.
Dude, this was a gift. No, I don't know. Like that game 7 was great.
From your sensei.
I seriously almost turned it off. What? I'm getting back into it. What are you talking about?
I said from your sensei.
Yeah.
When you said it was a gift, I said from your sensei.
Yeah. I almost turned off the game. I was like, fuck. Like they're just down. I was like, I don't want to be sad for the Wolves. Like I almost considered turning on 2K, like NBA 2K.
I had a feeling, dude. I had a feeling when I was watching the game that they were gonna do it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch the first like 3 minutes. I'll watch the first timeout and then see what happens. And then it's like they just locked them down. They allowed 14 points in the third. I'm like, let's go Wolves! Like that was sick.
Dude, they're fun to watch. You mentioned Cat. We already talked about Ant. Dude, Naz Reid is fun to watch. Like that guy just brings a physicality and like I don't think he gets enough credit for the skills that he's got in his bag as well. Like people know him as like the big. Yeah, no, but I mean, people know him as like a big man who can bang around the basket, grab you rebounds, get some putbacks. But man, he'll take a guy off the dribble. He'll hit a three every once in a while. Naz Reid is a guy, and when Cat was out, when he was in foul trouble in that fourth quarter, it was really Naz Reid who plugged that gap and kept that comeback going.
Naz Reid had like the game-winning block on Jokic, like and like late in the game, like that was, and like the defensive stands that Naz Reid had over and over and over again down the stretch in that game. It was like that was just pushing off more and more time that Cat didn't have to be out there and possibly waste a foul. And I mean, Rudy Gobert fouled out, but like they bent, but they didn't break. Like that was great. It was really good. Like I was happy for Mike Conley. He's always been a really fun player to watch. And like he finally got out of a game 7 alive. Like that was good. Like I said to you earlier though, that like I was thinking about the Naz Reid thing all day long. And as a Bucks fan, it actually made me sad and frustrated at Bobby Portis. Because of like Naz Reid and Bobby Portis were both like in the running for 6th man of the year. Like I think Bobby finished 3rd or something, and Naz Reid obviously won it. But like the difference in those two of like to do this on the road, to go and just I have to bear down, go in when one of my stars is out and make up for lost ground, defense, and he had to play defensively and he got stops. He had a soft touch around the rim. He just came up in big moments, didn't get rattled. Now, also, the Nuggets are a much more professional team and they don't act like the fucking Pacers do. So it's like there wasn't a whole lot of jawing back and forth out of anybody. Mm-hmm. But like you can get frustrated by the crowd. Like you can like it's like totally these guys are human. And it's just one of those things where it's like I would really hope that after this year that like Bobby Portis really grows from the incident of punching that little fucking prick Nemhart. Like we got goons in Milwaukee. We'll take care of it for you. Like, don't worry about that. Like
let somebody else take care of that. Let somebody who the Bucks don't need as much take care of that.
But yeah, it's like when it's like we're leaning on Bobby Portis and he apologized. So I don't want to harp on it too much. He apologized to the team. Like Pat Bev said that, that Bobby apologized in the locker room and, he was like, it was my, I shouldn't have acted that way. So it's like there is an awareness and like a regret that he did do it. So like I don't want to like drag him over the coals for anything like that because he's human and we love him because he goes wild. But I'm like, man, if you just took it back one like just a little bit and you were like, I'm gonna be composed and just let my play dictate and just because be the fucking guy at home that's hyping everybody up, like that's great. But on the road, if you're not absolutely just demolishing them, just go about your business.
Yeah, like, you gotta play the villain to a T, and you can't take it too far. You know what I mean? Because it's a fine line to where you're doing your team a service and you're doing yourself a service and getting hyped up and getting some energy. But once you cross that line, where Bobby did and where Pat Bev did after Game 6 of that series, you're doing your team a detriment. And if you do want to play that role on the road, you got to walk that line and walk it perfectly. Because again, once you step over the line, you're doing your team a disservice.
On the road, the villain is going to be Dame and Giannis. That's just who the villain's going to be because they're the big guns. Like they're going to be the guys that are going to go out there and they're going to be the ones that put up the numbers on a nightly basis. Maybe Chris Middleton might have a little bit of that villain status, but Middleton doesn't show emotion out there really ever. He's just the metronome. He's just a constant, just goes about his business. But like outside of those three, you're not going to do anything to the crowd that's going to like the guy that's going to get them fired up and get them like feeling uneasy is going to be Damian Lillard hitting 2 or 3 threes in a row. Or it's going to be Giannis throwing down a dunk on Miles Turner. That's the crowd more amped up than you shaking your head or clapping at fucking Andrew Nemhart. Yep. Like, that's not it. Like, it's so do it at home. Like, get everybody fired up at home because, like, we're going to go nuts at the Fiserv Forum for anything Bobby does. But I was just like, God damn it. I'm like, if he just honed it and just went about his business, like, and I know he's been read, but I'm like, fuck. Like,
no, I know. But you do look at that and kind of think about what could have been.
I was just so impressed with like the way Naz Reid handled being down to like 15 on the road, your second best player, because you'd probably say Cat's their second.
Yeah,
he's out with foul trouble against the defending champs. Like the only stadium where they have an actual like geographical
physical home court advantage. Yeah,
yep. And he just, the way he handled that was like, oh, that was the sixth man of the year right there. That was the hands down best guy to come off a bench and handle business. Like Naz Reid, I'm a big fan. Like that was great.
I'm a big fan, dude. I'm a big fan, and I know people accuse me of being, a bandwagon jumper and just going wherever the paycheck is. And yeah, that's part of it. But also, I like this Wolves team, man, and I'm really happy. I do still have friends and former coworkers in Minneapolis who haven't had a lot of sports success in their lives. I'm happy that they're getting to see this, and we're going to talk with one of them, Phil Mackey from Score North, on the show tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. live right here on the Ramie and Drew show. We'll talk some Wolves with him. We also got to talk about how they're feeling about their new quarterback, Drew, their baseball team, and their summer sausage. So we have a lot to talk about with Phil Mackey on the show tomorrow.
Did you watch Michael Malone's? I do think I like the Denver Nuggets, but like Mike Malone's kind of a dickhead too. Like
they did not show first with Jamal Murray and the throwing stuff on the court early in the series, and then not wanting to address that, and now Michael Malone with this. They did not show a lot of grace or class in defeat as this series played out.
No. And like I can kind of understand Jamal Murray being frustrated, especially because he was playing with a calf injury also. Whatever. Like, I can understand him being a little bit frustrated. It also rings of a little bit of entitlement. But last year, like even after the Nuggets won the championship, Michael Malone was like the only one being like, and they didn't talk about us all year in the media. It's like, yeah, well, no shit, dude. They're not gonna. I was like, hey, Bucks fan here. They were never gonna talk about you. If you're not the guy, they're talking about Bronny James more than they're talking about anybody else in the NBA right now. And he's a late second round pick to the point where Kendrick Perkins actually made sense. Did you see that? Kendrick Perkins.
What?
Kendrick
Perkins, I did. Yeah. When they were talking about Bronny. Yeah.
And about how it's like this guy's a late second round pick. And we're talking about, they're like, yeah, but like his dad is LeBron. And they're like, there are first round guys that we're not talking about that are going to get
drafted. But there's also I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't undue hype on LeBron James' kid, but it's also a draft that lacks a lot of star power and talent and potential, from what I understand. I don't know anything about college basketball, I'll put that out there. But I heard somebody say that having the number one pick in the draft this year is the equivalent to getting Tobias Harris. So it's not like there are a lot of other like flashy, sexy things or guys to be talking about in this draft.
Well, also it's like when you look at last year's draft, yeah, you had Victor Wembanyama, who's a goddamn unicorn. Okay,
right?
Like what? I don't know. Like what else are you getting? Like there's gonna be some other freak from Europe.
So that also explains why Bronny is getting some of the hype that he's getting, because they talk about something.
But in a draft that lacks stars, and a draft that you can sit there and say, oh, the number one overall pick is going to be like Tobias Harris. Okay, fine. Bronny James isn't even as good as any of these guys, and we're talking about.
No, but his dad is LeBron James. But his dad is LeBron James. Like, sure. That's a story. There's a story there.
But like, this is the thing where it's like, I don't want to hear people talk about Thanasis Antetokounmpo being, in Milwaukee. Because he's a nepo baby. Because if he wasn't here, Giannis would be. Dude, there are teams that are going to try to take a flyer on Bronny James higher than he should be drafted to try to lure fucking LeBron.
See, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Dude, what if LeBron makes those idiots the Lakers actually draft his kid? What if the Lakers do this?
I don't think anybody's going out of their way to draft Bronny James to get a 40-year-old LeBron.
Stupid enough to do it.
I don't know about that.
I honestly think that they would mortgage any prospect they have at getting a young player to develop so that they could throw Bronny.
I mean, you're not. You're not.
Might as well. Wasting, you know what? You might as well.
You're not wasting.
33. Give Bronny 33.
You're not wasting some great.
Give him fucking Magic's number.
You're not wasting some great asset. You're not wasting. He was 32. You're not wasting some great asset that would. You know what I mean? Like, if you did draft Bronny James, the Lakers or anybody else, if you used a late first or early second round pick to draft Bronny James, you're not wasting any great asset if it means the chance to get LeBron James. But I don't think anybody's going out of their way to do that still.
There are good young people in China that have to sew Bronny James jerseys.
All right.
There are people working for Nike.
On that note, I am very much looking forward to the conference finals, and Drew, I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow's show where Phil Mackey of Score North will join us. We'll talk with him about the Timberwolves, our Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. We'll also cover some Vikings, how he sees the NFC North stacking up. We'll talk about their twins, and he's just a big baseball guy in general. So lots to talk about with Phil tomorrow on episode, what is that, 55? This has been, unless you have any final words, Drew Flaggy.
Yeah, I wear Adidas because I'm not about sweatshops.
This has been episode 54 of Ramie and Drew. Please subscribe, like, rate, review, and tell a friend and help us grow this thing. And we'll talk to you next time.